Yeah, happy to be here on the victorious side of things. I'll be honest, I let my brain think about what I would have to say had that not been the case. Obviously, at 2-0 down, and we would have had to take some ownership and been accountable for a couple of mistakes. I think from what I saw, a little bit of an unfortunate call again with a handball, but we have to take accountability for the nature of how we concede the second and certainly how we concede the third. That one was had all the all the potential to be a real heartbreaker, given that we'd worked so hard to get back to 2-2. But thankfully, the young man to my left has won us the game, and that's probably one of the most entertaining games of college soccer that I've ever been involved with, and arguably one of the best single performances I've ever been involved with as well. So incredibly proud of the entire resilience of the group, and then just the magical moments that Marcus has created to allow the team to advance is pretty special. Now it has to mean something, it has to count for something, and we it can't be the pinnacle of our season. It's got to count for something going into High Point.
Dan, you did not seem pleased at halftime when you did your halftime interview for the broadcast. You said before that going down has galvanized this team, but what changed after falling behind by 2?
Again, there's something about there's almost a calmness and a composure and a level of focus that comes where at that point we had nothing to lose, but we didn't do it in a reckless way. My frustrations in the first half were a good start for 15-20 minutes that we couldn't maintain, and then a spell that I didn't like seeing in our team that, quite honestly, I probably haven't seen since maybe High Point, where I don't know that they believed that we were the better team in that moment, or that we believed that we were really forcing the issue and trying to win the game. So we made changes earlier than we normally would. We hadn't lost anything at halftime. It was 0-0, but there was a friendly prompt to say, hey, our standards are way, way better than what we've just shown. But at the same time, you have to give credit to St. John's. They play a style with the man-to-man press and the way they go about things that make it tricky and take away some of what we do well. And we had to be more versatile and less naive in moments to ultimately play into Marcus, play into Pablo, and kind of bypass portions of the build to play the game in a safer area, to advance the game into an area of the pitch that wasn't going to catch us in the press. And obviously that's not what we did for the third goal. But as I said already, thankfully, Marcus comes up with three, but two late on there, special moments to bring us back from the dead. He got hurt the other day, so he just told me his mum and dad weren't going to come because he didn't think he was going to play. So there was a little bit of an injury scare that occurred Tuesday morning, and he didn't train at all yesterday. So I just joked with him, said I'm going to kick him in his heel when he leaves here today, so that he can't train tomorrow, and then just comes off the bench and scores 3 for us against High Point. But no, it wasn't by choice. It was forced, and thankfully his recovery was quite quick, and he got through the warm-up. I told him in the warm-up, which he still hasn't answered the question, so maybe he will now. I said, this is a one-word answer. It's yes or no, and it's asking whether or not you can play. And you only get to say yes or you only get to say no. And he said about 100 words, but neither of them were yes and neither of them were no. So I think it's safe to say that it was a yes.
Marcus, kind of walk us through that final goal there. It was obviously you take on 3 different guys in a span about 3 seconds to make the goal. Kind of walk us through what you were seeing in that moment.
Kind of happened so fast, to be honest with you. I think I just remember turning, and the center back was kind of jockeying, so I tried to get on his strong side, and he turned, and I think I cut again. I don't really know how many times I cut, and then I saw an opening, and I just kind of shot it, and thank God it went in. So, yeah.
Marcus, did you think at any point, either pre-game or maybe after you checked into the game there in the first half, about this being your final game potentially here at Skill?
Not in the first half, to be honest. When we were down 2-0, it had crossed my mind when they were celebrating. But then Strat said, Pablo, Marcus, warm up, and me and Pablo looked at each other, and we just said that this wasn't the end. And thankfully it wasn't the end, which could have truly been the end of not only playing here but my college career. So we live to fight another day, and like Strat said, 24 more days to go. So
Marcus, you've had a lot of moments with the fan base here. Was that by far the top one?
Yeah, it has to be 100%. So the ref the first time didn't card me because my Under Armour were still on. That's why I was just like, screw this, and I just took everything off.
It was a very sweaty hug that I got afterwards, sadly.
So, Marcus, how close were you to not playing?
I mean, Strats knows that I would have played regardless of how hurt I was, to be honest. There was one game in the spring against the Riverhounds where it was kind of the same thing, just about. And you asked me before the game, and I didn't say yes or no either. But obviously, if my name gets called, I'm going to play, regardless if I have one leg or one arm. So.
Dan, you get punched in the mouth. They're going down 2-0, then you guys even it out 2-0, and then you get punched in the mouth again 3-2. In response, did you kind of see anything sway in those moments, or was it just still even feel kind of?
No, I think there's been glimpses of that resilience and the fortitude that's required in those moments throughout the year. I think we showed it against Old Dominion. I think we showed it South Carolina, the finale of the regular season being 1-0 down at halftime, and I think we showed it against Marshall. Obviously, we didn't maybe get the bounce of the ball. I don't know that we entirely got it today. I just think we created our own luck and created our own quality. I say we. This man to my left created those moments for us to make sure there needs to be this refuse to lose mentality. Again, there'll be a lot of things that we'll look at that we know we could have done better. I hope that we can take a ton of positives from the entire experience, right? From being 2-0 down, from being close to what could have been the last game of the season, which would have been such a shame, because probably before tonight, I can't fault them. I can't fault the effort that we've shown. I can't fault the quality that we've shown. I can't fault what the team has produced and the togetherness and the closeness. And I think there was aspects of that togetherness that shone through in a really, really vital moment for us, along with Marcus's quality that has ultimately got us over the line today. So, like I said, it can't be for just this moment. It has to mean more when it comes to we knew we had to do the hard way just as we did last year. Now we got to get through High Point, and we get just as much rest as everybody else. So every ounce of our attention and every choice we make between now and Sunday is for the most energetic, high-level performance that we can put in against a very good High Point team that obviously we're familiar with as well.
Did your family come to you?
Yeah, they ended up coming. Yeah. They said that they wanted to warm up their seats one last time because they sit in the same spot every time. But yeah, they did. They were really close to not coming though. But my mom forced my dad to come. So yeah.
I know the time for reflection is in December, but what has this place meant to you?
The world. I mean, he's given me opportunities, and that I'm forever in debt, to be honest. But we'll save that for when the season's done. So.
Senior banquet's not for another 3 weeks, Nick. Okay, you're gonna choke him up already.
Who did you run to the crowd to see? Is that your parents or
No,
anybody?
I was just buzzing, to be honest. Any random that I just ran through like 5-10 people, and then Bryce's dad came up to me when I was sat down. So I guess Bryce's dad is the answer.
Dan, the last couple seconds of regulation, they get that save. Like maybe that galvanized them in overtime. How did you guys?
Yeah, I was impressed that Marcus passed. Maybe he learnt his lesson by passing it to Dax, who obviously didn't score by then taking it himself in overtime. No, it was a really clever move and a really, really nice decision at the timing to kind of set Dax up with the opportunity, and he hit it so well. So when you have a moment like that, you're obviously it's. I've said to the guys before, the nature of our sport, there's these continual moments, and some, unfortunately, are more critical than others. And sometimes you can play a game and feel like you get 95 out of the 100 moments fall your way, but the 5 that might be the most critical moments maybe don't quite fall your way. Critical moment on the penalty decision, critical moment with the save on Dax, but we refuse to let those be the difference on the day, and like I said, Marcus has had such an important role to play in making sure that the next critical moment went our way, and obviously we got over the line. So it would have maybe galvanized them that they were still in the game, but they'd also been in a situation 3 minutes earlier where they were still winning the game. So to come back from 2-0 down and then for them to take a 3-2 lead in the nature of how they did, I feel like the momentum was with us, and I'm glad they listened to me today when I said let's not waste any time. Let's put the next chance away and get this done as soon as possible. And obviously, thankfully, we've only had to play 94 minutes and not 110.
Dan, I know you don't want to reflect too much right now, but you talk about legacy a lot with the program, with players sometimes. This performance by Marcus, it just fully cements it.
Well, that was cemented a long time ago. And when I talk about legacy, it's mostly concerned with the team, right? And Marcus has won pretty much every accolade there is out there to win. So now it's not about that. Now it's about, and he won't mind me saying this because I've had this conversation with him. But now his to build on his legacy is to give back, is to be as selfless as he can, to enjoy this experience in a way that makes every younger player that's in the program recognize what it means to Marcus to be here, how much he values it, and to be as selfless in the way that he goes about his business, such as setting it up for Dax in the last dying seconds of the game there, such as scoring a hat-trick to make sure that the season isn't done and everyone gets another opportunity. His legacy now, he should be focused on his legacy being defined by a championship at the end of all of this, and not a single performance at St. John's, because I'm sure Marcus would very quickly give that hat-trick to Pablo if it meant we got through High Point as well. So yeah, the legacy piece is a collective and is about walking away with something that the team has achieved and knowing that he's made a fantastic contribution to that team.
Dan, you've said time and time again how important set pieces are. How important were they tonight? You were able to score off at least one of them. How important were they tonight?
Yeah, it's a fantastic delivery from Dax. We've been on the guys a little bit and kind of driving a higher standard of quality of delivery. I do still feel as though too many of our set pieces don't result in an opportunity, come up too short or overhit it and ultimately don't have any fighting chance. And we've got some great candidates to go and head the ball and go and attack the ball. And Skaggs has met it wonderfully. It's a fantastic header, and obviously came at a crucial time to get us back to 2-2. So, a lot of games at this stage of the year are decided by a set piece. We are scoring. I still am very, very greedy in terms of making sure that we give ourselves as many opportunities as we can from every set piece opportunity. So again, I think there'll be some confidence away from tonight, and certainly from the scoring record we've shown more recently. But I'm going to continue to drive a high standard for the delivery.
Marcus, you've played with a lot of strong attackers in your career here, but in just one season playing with Pablo, how has your brotherhood, just that you've grown together this year, made you such an elite striker partnership so far?
I mean, like Strat said, I think we just complement each other, to be honest. And it's one of those things where we both are kind of on the same wavelength. Like when Strat asks us to warm up, we both look at each other and we know that this game isn't done. I mean, I wish I had more years with Pablo, but I mean, he's lovely to play with. He reminds me kind of Utaro when he was here, not playing wise, but kind of like that relationship that we have on the field. Except that I'm doing a lot more passing to him and he's finishing, and Utaro was doing the more passing to me. So, yeah.
High Point's turf.
Yes, yeah, we'll prep on turf tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be really light. The priority now is sleep, recovery, giving short answers to the media so that I can go finish the scout. And we'll obviously have to adjust to that. That will, I'm sure, be a little bit of a home field advantage and be a bit of a differentiator from playing him here before. But I was happy with the draw. I know they're a good team. I think they're one of the best teams we played this year, and I like Zach and I like their staff, and I think they would be honest enough to say that we're one of the best teams that they've played this year too. So I think we go into that game with a ton of confidence, and I also think there's something to be said for getting a win under your belt in the NCAA tournament and knowing that you have started the process and started the journey. I can recall both 2023 and 2021, where like we had to wait in that first round, which is a good thing, but there is just that extra time that you have to spend thinking about it, and that anxiety grows a little bit, that you just want to get off the mark. We've done that now. Obviously, we have to recover and we have to be as healthy and as energized as we can for Sunday, but I'm expecting a really good game against a really well-coached team.